There are many things that we have been told as anglers over the years that are just not accurate or as absolute as we often believed. Worm weights on a Texas rig coming through wood is one of those perfect examples. I wanted to redo this video from almost 2 years ago because it's a question that comes up often, and like many of you, the weather here has been horrific and it has stopped me from working on a couple of projects I was hoping to have done by now. Anyway, the myth that has been passed on over the decades is that worm weights must be pegged in wood or the soft plastic will not follow the weight over the branch right away and will just get stuck or hang up there, not working over the branch and then dropping vertically like we want it to. After testing this again and again and again with a variety of weights and soft plastics, I could not get this to happen one time. The plastic always followed up and over the branch perfectly, and I suppose if it did happen, it is not that often. Why does this matter, and in what situations is pegging the weight beneficial? When presenting a Texas rig on the fall with a worm weight, the bulkier plastics like craws and lures with a very wide flat profile will have the slower drop as the weight and the plastic separates a bit. This slower drop can be powerful when bass are relating to vertical structure. I've caught many fish that have been suspended on dock pilings this way. But many times anglers felt that if they were working something like a dock and then came to a brush pile, the Texas rig with the worm weight they were just using is not going to work in the brush like they want it to because the lure will just sit dangling under the branch and not follow the weight. Well, based on all these tests I have done, odds are it will. You can fish the huge variety of cover and structure in front of you with confidence. Okay, what about when we definitely want to peg the weight? Well, the most common example that comes to mind is super thick emergent vegetation. In those situations, it is common for the weight to fall through the vegetation and the plastic get hung up on top of that green stuff. A pegged worm weight here is important to keep the lure following the weight and make it through the surface layer. But here's a great way to get the best of both worlds, and you can adjust it how you see fit and have the confidence to fish whatever you run across with those Texas rigged plastics. You can place one bobber stop or weight stop up the line. It will easily slide up and down the line, and you can peg the weight when you want and then slide it up the line a couple of feet if you want a bulkier plastic to fall slower behind the weight. A quick adjustment that allows you to have the benefits of both. I also get asked a lot of questions about jigs versus Texas rigs when fishing brush, and of course both will work, and a lot of anglers tend to lean on jigs when focusing on wood, but bigger, bulkier plastics can really shine working the brush, especially if the water has some color to it like we've got after a heavy rain last night, or the water's even dirty. Those bulkier or longer plastics give a nice profile for bass to zero in on lower visibility situations, especially if the water you are fishing is typically clearer. And hey, if you want to watch a video that talks about a rig that completely replaced the Ned rig for me, go ahead and check this one out right here, and make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.